What if one cold winter night, one dark hallway, one wrong door could completely destroy your lonely life and replace it with something so beautiful, so unexpected, so perfectly imperfect that you would thank God every single day for that one terrifying mistake? What if the universe was secretly arranging your love story while you were too busy being afraid? What if that embarrassing moment, the one that made your face burn red, your hands shake, and your voice disappear, was actually the most important moment of your entire existence? Right now, you are about to read a story that will teach you real English, not boring textbook English, but living, breathing, feeling English. The kind of English that enters your heart, not just your head. This story will teach you vocabulary, emotions, past tense, adjectives, and real conversation phrases, all hidden inside one beautiful, shocking, romantic night that neither of them ever planned. Stay with me. Read every word, because by the end of this story, your English will never be the same again, and neither will your heart. Let us begin. Sarah pulled her coat tightly around her body. She was tired. She was very, very tired. She had traveled for 12 hours by train. Her bag was heavy. Her eyes were almost closed. She only wanted one thing: her hotel room and her warm bed. Room 14, she whispered to herself, looking at the small white card in her hand. The hotel was quiet. It was almost midnight. The hallway was long and dark. Only one small light was working on the ceiling. Sarah walked slowly. Her feet were hurting. Her head was hurting. She counted the room numbers quietly. Room 10, room 11, room 12. She stopped at room 14. She pushed her card into the door. The little green light blinked. The door opened. Sarah walked inside without turning on the light. The room was dark but warm. She could smell something clean and soft, like fresh soap and cold winter air. She did not notice anything. She was too tired to notice. She dropped her bag on the floor. She removed her coat and placed it on the chair near the door. She sat on the bed. The mattress was soft, very soft. She smiled a little. "Finally," she whispered. She pulled the blanket and slipped inside the bed. It was warm. The pillow was soft. Her eyes closed immediately. For exactly 3 seconds, everything was perfect. Then she felt it. The bed moved. Sarah's eyes opened wide. Her heart stopped. The bed moved again. Something was there. No, someone was there. Sarah screamed. A deep voice shouted, "What? Who? What is happening?" The lamp turned on. Sarah jumped out of the bed so fast that she fell on the floor. She grabbed the blanket and pulled it in front of her, standing there with huge eyes and a face completely red with embarrassment and shock. On the bed sat a man. He was tall. Even sitting, she could see he was tall. His dark hair was messy from sleep. His eyes were wide and confused. He was staring at her like she was a ghost that had just appeared from the ceiling. "Who are you?" he said. His voice was low. He was still half asleep, but trying very hard to wake up and understand the situation. I... Sarah could not speak. Her mouth was open, but no words were coming out. "Why are you in my room?" he asked. He ran his hand through his messy hair and blinked several times. "Your room?" Sarah finally found her voice. It came out small and shaking. "This is my room. Room 14. Look." She held up her card with a shaking hand. The man looked at the card. Then he looked at the door. Then he looked back at Sarah. "This is room 41, he said quietly. Silence. Complete, terrible, burning silence. Sarah looked at the card again. She looked at the door. On the door, in big gold numbers, she could clearly read 41. Her face, which was already very red, became even more red. If it was possible to disappear into the floor at that moment, Sarah would have done it immediately and with great happiness. I am so sorry, she whispered. Her voice was barely audible. I am so sorry. I thought it was dark and I was tired and the numbers, I read them wrong. I am really, truly, deeply sorry. The man looked at her for a long moment. Then something happened that Sarah did not expect. He smiled. It was a small smile, just one side of his mouth going up. But it changed his entire face. He went from looking like a confused, sleepy, slightly irritated stranger to looking like someone kind and warm, and even, she noticed, despite her embarrassment, quite handsome. It is okay, he said. His voice was gentler now. Are you hurt? You fell on the floor quite hard. Sarah blinked. She looked down at her knee. It was a little red from the fall. I am fine, she said quickly. Are you sure? He tilted his head. His dark eyes were watching her carefully. They were very calm eyes. Warm eyes. Yes, I am sure. I am fine and I am very embarrassed and I am leaving right now, Sarah said, all in one very fast breath. She grabbed her bag. She grabbed her coat. She walked to the door with as much dignity as a person can have when they have just been caught sleeping in a stranger's bed wearing their traveling clothes. She opened the door. Cold hallway air came inside. Room 14 is in the other direction, he said from behind her. Sarah stopped. She turned slowly. He was pointing to the right side of the hallway. Sarah had walked from the left. Thank you, she said softly. She could feel the embarrassment burning her ears. Good night, he said. His voice was very soft now, like he was trying not to make her feel worse. Good night, Sarah whispered. And I am sorry. Again. Very sorry. She walked out. The door closed behind her. Sarah stood in the dark hallway for a moment. She pressed her hands against her burning cheeks. She closed her eyes. That did not happen, she told herself. That absolutely did not happen. But it did happen. She found room 14. The real room 14. She opened the door. She turned on every light. She looked at the number on the door very carefully, 14 times. She got into bed, her own bed, the correct bed. But she could not sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw his face. His messy, dark hair, his calm, warm eyes. That one small smile that changed everything about his face. She pressed her face into the pillow. Stop it, Sarah, she whispered. The next morning, the hotel had a small dining room for breakfast. Sarah came downstairs wearing fresh clothes. Her hair was neat. She had her notebook and her pen because she was a writer, and she always carried them. She chose a table near the window. The winter sun was coming through the glass and making everything look soft and golden. She ordered coffee and toast. She opened her notebook. She tried to write. She could not write. She was thinking about room 41. Good morning. Sarah looked up. He was standing beside her table. In the morning light, he looked different from last night. He was wearing a simple gray sweater. His dark hair was neat now. His eyes, in the daylight, were actually a very deep shade of brown, like dark honey or old wood. He was holding a coffee cup in both hands. Good morning, Sarah said. Her voice came out surprisingly calm. She was proud of herself. May I sit here? He asked. All the other tables are taken. Sarah looked around the dining room. It was true. Every other table was full of hotel guests eating their breakfast and talking loudly. Of course, she said. He sat down across from her. For a moment, they were both quiet. He drank his coffee. She held her pen over her notebook and pretended to write. My name is Adam, he said. Sarah, she replied. Are you a writer? He nodded toward her notebook. I try to be, she said. What do you write about? Sarah thought about this. She looked out the window at the winter street outside. People were walking fast in the cold. A child was laughing at something. 2 old women were sharing an umbrella even though it was not raining. Ordinary moments, she said finally. I write about ordinary moments that turn out to be not so ordinary. Adam was quiet for a second. Then he said, like accidentally sleeping in a stranger's bed? Sarah looked at him. He was smiling again. That same small, one-sided smile from last night. Sarah felt something warm move through her chest. It was an unfamiliar feeling, soft and surprising, like sunlight appearing through winter clouds when you are not expecting it. She laughed. It was a real laugh, genuine and sudden and a little bit surprised. Exactly like that, she said. Adam laughed too. It was a good laugh, easy and comfortable, like someone who did not laugh to impress anyone, but only because something was genuinely funny. I did not sleep for a long time after that, Sarah admitted. She did not know why she was telling him this. The words came out before she could stop them. Neither did I, he said honestly. Sarah looked at her coffee cup. I kept thinking, he continued, his voice quieter now, that it was the most interesting thing that had happened to me in a very long time. Sarah looked up. His eyes were watching her with that same calm, warm expression from last night. In the morning light, it was even more visible. There was something in his eyes that felt like recognition, like meeting someone you already somehow know. I am traveling alone, Sarah said. She did not know why she said this either. Me too, he said. Outside the window, the winter sun was getting brighter. The coffee was warm in her hands. The dining room was full of noise and conversation from other guests, but at their small table by the window, everything felt very quiet and very private. Are you staying long? He asked. 3 days, Sarah said. He nodded slowly. 3 days, he repeated, like he was thinking about something. Sarah looked back at her notebook. The blank page was still empty. But suddenly she did not mind. She had the feeling, strange and new and quietly exciting, that she was about to have something very interesting to write about. Sarah, Adam said. She looked up again. Since you already know where I sleep, he said, completely seriously, perhaps you would like to have dinner with me tonight instead? Sarah stared at him. Then she laughed again, louder this time. That is a very terrible way to ask someone to dinner, she said. I know, he agreed. But is it a yes? Sarah looked at him, this stranger with the warm brown eyes and the one-sided smile, and the calm voice that had said, Are you hurt? Before anything else. It is a yes, she said. Outside, the winter sun was warm and bright and generous, as if the sky itself was pleased with this decision. This beautiful story teaches us something far more important than just English words and grammar. It teaches us that life's most embarrassing moments are often its most precious gifts. Sarah made a simple mistake. She read the room number wrong. She was tired, she was alone, and she wanted to disappear from embarrassment. But that one small mistake opened a door. Not room 41, but a door to something warm, unexpected, and real. Through this story, you learned simple past tense verbs, emotional adjectives, apologetic expressions, descriptive sensory language, and how to connect sentences naturally using linking words. You learned English not through rules, but through feelings. And that is the most powerful kind of learning there is. Remember, in English and in life, sometimes the wrong turn leads you exactly to where you were always meant to be. Keep reading, keep feeling, keep learning. Your English journey is not a mistake. It is a beautiful story still being written.